Hello, welcome to another episode of Chatting with the Cardinals. We have a really special episode today. We're going to go a little bit into Hispanic Culture Month and talk to Henry Zapata with the women's soccer team today. My name is John Washington. I'm the assistant AD for external here at Lamar. And just want to give a big thank you to MCT for sponsoring the podcast, MCT, where we never stop growing. Derek is also joining me today. Derek, you want to introduce yourself again?
Yeah, hello Cardinal Nation. I'm your co-host Derek Schramm, manager of ticket sales and service. Can't wait to get started with another great episode.
All right. Well, like I said, we're very happy to have Henry Zapata with us. He's the associate head coach, for women's soccer. And Henry, you want to introduce yourself a bit?
Yeah, Henry Zapata, associate head coach for women's soccer here at Lamar, going into our 5th season.
Nice. Yeah. All right, so let's just get right into it. So like I said, it's Hispanic Heritage Month, and you actually maybe have the most Hispanic Heritage kids on the team too, and of course you yourself are too.
Yeah.
You also joined me on the diversity committee, and we do a lot of things there. So can you maybe just speak a little bit to what does it mean to be in the position you are, and how does that kind of help in making sure that your culture and your student athletes' voices are heard on that end?
Yeah, no, it's been a privilege, and it's fun. It's enjoyable to be able to, one, coach the game that I grew up watching, and that's very strong part of the Hispanic culture, and getting to work with those student athletes from that kind of same background actually gives me, I feel like, a connection in the recruiting with them, that when they come for a visit, that their parents feel comfortable. They feel comfortable because even though we might not be from the same Hispanic background, there's always some kind of connection, because the Hispanic Latino connection does kind of, no matter if you're from Colombia or Mexico or different parts of Central America, you can kind of have that same sense of feeling of camaraderie. But it is an enjoyable feature of being able to connect with those players, and it helps in the recruiting process. So definitely enjoy it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Coach, soccer is considered the world sport. It brings many people together from different backgrounds, just as sports does in general. So explain to us what it's like to not just coach Hispanics, but so many other individuals on your team from various backgrounds and nationalities.
Yeah, no, it's very interesting because it's the world's game, and it's played so differently around the world. So part of the enjoyment is learning the different styles and the different kind of techniques and the work rates and mentality from coaching a player from the UK, a player from Finland, or a player from Latin or South America. It's the same game, but it's played so differently, and you get these different types of cultural aspects that are part of their game, and learning how to manage those and integrate them all together. And then also at the same time learning a little bit about different cultures outside of the field it's enjoyable, and different things that they find normal over in Europe that we find a little bit weird, or different things that we find normal over here that Europeans and Latin Americans find weird. So it's a growing experience, and for me, I think it makes me a better coach, a better person, to find different things from around the world to help me grow as a person, and in a different mindset as well.
And you guys, I mean, if I would probably be accurate in saying that you guys are probably the most diverse team when it comes to just players from all around the world, literally. Can you kind of speak to that diversity? And maybe, I mean, I know you guys have, like you said, UK and just all over the place. So can you kind of talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, so it's one of those things where when we got here, our mentality of recruiting was going to find obviously the best players, not only in this state, in this country, but in the world, that we can get here to Lamar University, that they want to continue not only playing soccer, but want to continue their education. So we've got players from Europe, from Latin America, from Africa. So we're trying at every kind of moment, trying to get players from different continents. I mean, at our facility, we have flags represented from at any given moment from 8 different nations or more, and that's been kind of a part of it is. And that's when we recruit, we bring that to the table, letting a person know that when they come over here, they're not only going to learn about American culture, but they might learn about African culture, about Latin American culture, about European culture, and that for a lot of these kids gives them kind of a glimpse into another part of society that they may not have the opportunity to travel to at times. And one of the things is with those cultural experiences, the girls cook their foods, and you get to try those different foods. And I love food, and I think that's a major thing about culture, is sharing that food experience as well.
So for those of you who are on video, you can see this, but for those who are not, may not be able to see it. Hold up your hand a little bit. Sure. So you have the ring on.
Yep.
So can you talk a little bit about how, we'll show it on camera one more time. So how does being such a diverse team, I mean, you talked to it a bit, like how does that help you guys basically win championships like you've been doing? And how does that feed into the culture of your team? And how does that help you guys be better as a team?
So I think I mentioned a little bit before, it's different styles of play, right? And incorporating all those and making it the best for our team and for our program. And we've got, so we look for, like, some of the Latin American players can be a little bit cheekier at times, and that brings a little, in the attacking end, creates some scoring opportunities. We've got girls that their mentality is they're going to kind of bowl through players and use their speed, and that helps because you've got that cheeky player playing the ball in and them getting in behind and scoring goals. But it helps us in the recruiting process as well, because when we talk to internationals, it makes it easier for them to come over here, because now they have that shared experience with somebody else as well. Like, oh man, they came over, they enjoyed it. If I have questions or if I have concerns, I can always talk to them and they'll help me through the process as well. And I think that's huge. That's definitely been a big thing for our Latin American players. Once we've got some from Colombia and Mexico, they see others that took that same route, and they feel comfortable with it because they can relate. And if they know if they have an issue, they can ask them, hey, how did you get over this? And they kind of walk them through that process as well. So as far as from a team chemistry standpoint, that's huge, because they can connect with those players, and it's kind of that same path. And that's kind of part of how, like, immigration worked, right, in this country, of having that shared experience and moving forward that way.
All right, so we're going to take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we'll talk to Henry some more about being a coach and some more about the soccer team.
Ignore the doubters. Work hard. Dig deeper. Stay healthy. At Christus and Beaumont Bone and Joint Sports Medicine, we have a program that's as driven as you are. Our exceptionally qualified, licensed athletic trainers and board-certified orthopedic surgeons offer comprehensive care and treatment to keep you in your best shape. Christus and Beaumont Bone and Joint Institute, the premier sports medicine program for Southeast Texas athletes. Same and next day appointments available, no matter the injury. 800-218-9355.
All right, welcome back, Cardinal Nation. We have one last question here for Coach. What advice would you give other Hispanic coaches that have the dream to follow the same path that you have and make it in the coaching industry?
Kind of the best advice is keep working and network, and that's huge. And they tell you that from, I mean, as soon as you get to college, they always say network, and you're always thinking when you first get there, what does that mean? And you start learning about it. Network to make those connections with those people, and then use all the resources you have to your advantage. One of the resources I have is that I speak Spanish and I'm bilingual, and that definitely helps me in the recruiting aspect, and it helps me in my career. So using all your resources you have at your disposal, continuing to be true to yourself and kind of not forgetting where you came from, but at the same time growing. And so network and use your connections to the best of your ability.
All right. Well, Coach, we really appreciate you joining us today. I know you guys are playing a couple games here in the fall, but a little sneak peek, if we haven't released it yet, I know the schedule is going to be out here really, really soon. Actually, I think it may already be out by now. So
yeah,
we'll have you guys' spring schedule out, and definitely looking forward to the season in the spring, and good luck with all the games in the fall.
Thanks. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me. Thanks, guys.
All right. Well, we'll take another commercial break, and when we come back, we'll have some more special guests, Jamie and Silas, and we'll talk to them a little bit as well. They both work with the external team, and we'll have a little discussion there.
These may feel like uncertain times, but there's one thing we know for sure. Southeast Texans will get through this and come back closer and stronger than ever. At Provost Humphrey, we're still here, hard at work, ensuring the people of our community are living and working safely, and letting them know they will always have someone in their corner. Southeast Texas, we've got your back. Provost Humphrey, lawyers at work, locals at heart.
Welcome back to Chatting with the Cardinals, our special Hispanic Heritage Month episode. I have two very special guests with me today. Both of them work in the external department. I'm going to let them introduce yourself, but Jamie, Silas. Jamie, you want to go first?
Yeah, absolutely. My name is Jamie Mondragon, and I am the Assistant Director of Marketing here for Lamar University.
Hi, I'm Silas. I'm the production coordinator here at Lamar University.
So I think first maybe you both can explain what you do, because I think your titles probably don't explain very well all the things that you are both involved in. So Jamie, you want to go first?
Yeah, so being the Assistant Director of Marketing, it's a little bit of everything. So we're the creative side, so everything that you're seeing on social media and marketing the teams outside of games and getting them ready for the season, as well as in-game production and fan engagement. So it's having our hands in a lot of different areas, and also promoting our other departments such as development and ticketing and all of those kinds of things that go into there. So primarily here for the student athletes, but we're also here to help build Cardinal athletics and making it the best it can be.
All right, Silas, you want to speak to some of the other things you do as well?
Yeah, so as the production coordinator, or broadcast coordinator as also been called, I'm in charge of making sure all the sports are on ESPN Plus 3, or even on YouTube, Facebook, which we're no longer doing, but on the website. So any stream you see online or on TV, that's usually run by me. So, and I'm also kind of in charge or helping out with the creative side, also with making videos for social media, YouTube, and even this podcast. So,
all right, so you both are of Hispanic heritage. Can you both kind of talk to, just kind of speak to how you came to be here in this positions, and how having that Hispanic heritage and having that different viewpoint kind of helps to bolster everything that you both do?
Yeah, so I'll start off. I actually came here from Albuquerque, New Mexico, so coming from a largely Hispanic population, and then coming to Beaumont, where Hispanics are a large minority. So came here in February, and it's really helped me understand on how to tap those other minorities and see what they're wanting to get out of college athletics and also out of Lamar University. So it's been a really interesting experience here to see how the different Hispanic heritages and cultures come together in different areas and seeing how we can include them in everything else that we're doing along with the other minorities.
And Silas, you're a native Texan and you're from
Yeah.
Houston, right? So
I'm from Houston, like John said, native Texan. In Houston, I'm usually I've been surrounded by minorities, so Hispanics, Black, Asian. They're usually all over the place where I'm from in Houston. And I came from Texas, stayed in Texas pretty much my whole life. Went to Sam Houston State, and then came here to work for Lamar as a broadcast, and even worked for a soccer team, the pro soccer team down in Houston with the Dynamo and Dash. And a lot of pretty much the whole team is of Hispanic heritage. So that kind of helped me dig into with the minorities and with my own heritage and culture to bring it up to sports and on video.
All right. Can you both just talk a little bit about some of the projects you have coming up? I know we're working on several things, and both of you can probably speak to some of those things. So.
Yeah, so got a lot of projects coming up. As you guys have probably already seen, we have our football schedule for the spring. So 3 really exciting games. We're getting ready for that as far as everything from in-game production to marketing the teams, ticket sales, and everything of that sort. And then also really focusing on volleyball and soccer, making sure that they're getting the right exposure. They've already played a couple of games. They have a couple more coming up. So getting them that right exposure and marketing for their game day, as well as just preparing for basketball season, because that's going to be here before we know it. So making sure that we get them in for photo shoots and getting all of their graphics done for the year.
Yeah, on my end, I'm just trying, since we got the football schedule, it gives me more idea on how we're going to broadcast those games to ESPN. And then hopefully maybe with volleyball, if they play here in the Montane in the spring, they can also be on ESPN. Soccer would just be on the website, and we got a new system to run, so that's going to be cool. Basketball, men's and women's, is both going to be on ESPN, so that should be fun. So yeah, I'm just pretty much looking forward to hosting every sport on ESPN as soon as possible.
And Silas is selling himself a little bit short. He's been doing a lot of motion graphics and stuff, and you guys will keep seeing those. And we also are working on our esports tournament, which I know we're going to do a broadcast with that, and Silas has definitely been very heavily involved in that.
That's going to be fun.
It'll be very fun. Lastly, can you guys just, talk to, and maybe this is more Jamie than Silas, but the ways that we're going to embrace the Hispanic community here at Lamar and try to get them more involved. I know we've had very many conversations of trying to activate that group of people here in the city of Beaumont, and maybe some of the things that we've discussed about doing in the future.
Yeah, so I think the first thing that we're going to do is really see what kind of nationalities we have here in Beaumont. There's Hispanic is such a large way to explain that kind of heritage. So we're looking at Mexican Americans, Spaniard Americans, Latinos, all of that above. So seeing that, what kind of sports they like and what exactly they want to see. So, that we know Hispanics love soccer. That's huge. But we also want to get them involved in other ways. So being able to have them host them at basketball games, football games, seeing what they want to have for halftime presentations or any kind of performances, as well as pre-game groups, any kind of groups that they're involved in the community. We want to bring them out to a game to show them that, we're all in this community and we're one together. So we want to support each other as best as possible.
All right. Well, I appreciate you both joining me today. And I'm sure that the fans will start seeing more and more things that you're both working on.
What does it take to transform lives around the world? It takes a community. Our community. All of us, together, play an important role in meeting the demands of a beautifully diverse and growing world. That world, awaited by so many, begins here, with us, and the essential products that our men and women make every day.
welcome back to Chatting with the Cardinals. Next up, we have another very special guest. Bijonae Jones is here with us. She's a graduate assistant for the volleyball team. How are you doing today, Bijonae?
I'm doing great. It's bright and sunny outside. Always a good day when there's sun.
Absolutely. So, obviously you're brand new here. You came with Coach Lay. Can you talk a little bit about, why you decided to come to Lamar with him? And I know you played while he was a coach as well.
Yeah.
And can you just speak to coming here so far?
Yeah, for sure. I came here because Jordan has honestly been like a mentor for me. The second I mentioned I wanted to coach, Jordan was like, all right, I got you. So I did have a job previously. And when this opportunity came, it was a no-brainer. Working for Jordan, he's the type of person who he means what he says, like in and out. It's not like you're going to get what he gives you 24/7. So I think being able to learn from him and someone I know and kind of having that like comfort there was an awesome opportunity for me. And everything about Lamar has been so awesome. I'm completely new to Texas, so trying to get to know Texas in Beaumont has been a good experience. Even with COVID, people are still so welcoming and open, and I really like it here. So.
Absolutely. Well, like I said, you played with him just 2 years ago, I think you said, right?
Yeah.
So you, Coach Leia said, like, you connect with student athletes really well, and that's a big asset for the team. So can you talk a little bit about how you can connect with them and the ways you push them to get better on a daily basis?
Yeah, I think I'd probably credit that to I was captain at Wofford for a little bit, or I guess for most of my time there, and I really had to learn how to adjust to people's personalities. And I know there's a lot of different type of people there kind of function in one way, and they'll have different things that'll kind of get them hyped up, or if they need to kind of get their heads back on straight. So I kind of took a lot of that and put it into the coaching aspect of it. So just kind of being able to connect with the girls. I'm pretty goofy, corny most times, but I like to just have a good time, laugh. I'm a high energy kind of person. So usually the second I'm in the gym, I'm just, keeping spirits up, bringing the energy. It's kind of feeding off from Jordan too. You guys know Jordan. Jordan's high energy, high spirits. So just kind of keeping that positive vibe all the way around.
Absolutely. He is very high energy all the time.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to somebody wanting to pursue a career in coaching, especially volleyball?
Yeah, one of the things I've learned was connections, being able to network as best as you can. Just taking opportunities and risk. I know for me specifically, coming to Texas was a big thing for me. The closest family member to me is probably going to be 9 hours away. So just kind of keeping your mind open, being able to go anywhere. But also studying the game more. I think one of the hardest things for me was transitioning from player to coach, because I'm like, well, when I played, I did this, or, something like that. So I think just kind of studying the game from a different aspect and asking your coaches, maybe, hey, can I help out with this? Or, they're always going to be willing to kind of give you that hand up and give you that insight thing. Because I know when I got into coaching, I was like, okay, I didn't know that y'all did all this. So, but it's been a good experience, but definitely just keeping your mind open and continue to learn the game, and networking is a big thing.
Yeah, I gotta say, I am also a former student athlete, and making that transition and seeing everything that goes on behind the scenes is definitely a big one.
Oh,
so
yeah,
I totally
sure.
understand that. What does Hispanic Heritage Month mean to you?
Mm-hmm.
In what ways do you celebrate it, and what is kind of the meaning of it for you?
Yeah, so for me, I'm third generation. And one of my things, my grandma didn't teach my mom Spanish. So one of my thing was I need to learn. I have to. So that was kind of one of the things that I really focused on growing up. And I'd go and I'd tell my nana, just talk to me in Spanish, or we'd watch telenovelas together and things like that. But for me, it means a lot because it is part of my identity. And honestly, my last couple of years in college is kind of exploring who I am and what that means to me. And that's part of it. So my goal is to eventually I was able to study abroad in the Dominican Republic, and that was just a big eye-opener for me, like Hispanic heritage in general and like culture, and I loved every single second of it. So being Mexican, I want to be able to do that, something similar in Mexico. I don't know if it'll happen or maybe not as the same time frame, but that's kind of like my future goals, is to just kind of go maybe to where my family's like originally from, and possibly see like that area and explore a little more there. So, but I think this month is so important because there's a lot of times where minorities in general are just, like, their cultures and their heritage are just overlooked. So for them to kind of get that opportunity to shine and be in that spotlight, I love to see it. So
absolutely. Well, Bijonae, thank you so much for joining us today. Hopefully we'll get to see you guys here in the spring here in a couple months, and looking forward to watching the team play.
Cool. Yeah, we're really excited.
Yeah,
thank you for having me.
Thank you. All right, well, that'll do it for another episode of Chatting with the Cardinals. Want to again thank Henry Zapata, Jamie Mondragon, Silas Banda for joining us for today's podcast. Also, make sure that you guys listen to us on Apple Music, Spotify, and if you're listening on, we're also available on YouTube for the visual version. And once again, thank you to MCT Credit Union for sponsoring today's podcast. And we'll see you guys again next time. Go Cards.